Hello, all you amazing, wonderful people. Welcome back to the channel, IStandAlone Gaming, and today we're going to be playing some more Cosmoteer. So with that being said, basically in the last episode, we cleared out the entire solar system, or this galaxy here, other than the pirate bases. So we got some pirate bases to go take care of, and we're going to do that. But first, I want to completely redesign my entire ship. So this is going to be one of those shipbuilding episodes. And one of the reasons I want to rebuild is because I'm kind of getting tired of using these prisms. Although it's been fun, I kind of want to try using different weapons. So that's one reason. Another reason is I feel like I could make this a lot better. So we're going to go ahead and see what we can do. Clearly, we've got a bunch of resources. We're going to sell off some of this stuff, and then we're going to go ahead and change out our ship. So I'll see you guys in a second. All right, so in order to build the ship, we're going to go ahead and use blueprints. First thing we're going to do, select the entire ship, like so, and delete. So the cool thing about using blueprints is until you actually click this button and make it so, nothing that you change will be actually changed to your ship. So it's one good thing about using the blueprints. So first thing I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to make a hallway up the entire center of the ship. If I can go ahead and pivot my camera. Let's go ahead and put this all the way up. We probably don't need it to go that far, but all right, so I think I'm going to use this time the rail guns. So let's go ahead and drop the railgun loader here, and then we could start building the railgun accelerators. And then once you build the railgun launcher, it'll tell you the percentage the accelerators are actually accelerating, if that makes sense. Each accelerator, I believe, so it does kind of have like a trail off. So we're going to go for 30 though, 304%. And I think that's a good number to have. So let's go do that. All right, so now that we have 304%, I think that is the max capacity you can have the railgun accelerate. As you can see, it's a pretty long piece of equipment. That's why we're putting it right down the middle of the ship. And with that being said, we're going to start defending the front end here. So we can take out right here. And then we're going to drop in these big boys. Then we're going to drop in another small one. Now, the reason we're doing this is because we're layering the shields. So if someone wanted to take out the railguns here, they'd have to blast through both these shields, the big ones, and then both these small shields. Then on top of that, both these small shields are also protecting the big shield. So if we can keep that pattern going, which is what my plan is. 2, 3, 4. And I think we'll stop there. So we don't want our front end to be too big, but big enough to get some defense out of it. So let's go ahead and throw some armor right here. We could probably throw it right here, like so. So even though this is the front of the ship, we're going to go ahead and throw some extra layers of armor. Mainly because this is where a lot of the damage is going to come from. In a perfect scenario where we're not getting bum rushed by a bunch of ships, we should be facing our opponent. All right, so that is the nose of our ship. So what I'm thinking is we can come down this way, over towards this side, put in some engines, put in some missiles. I'm thinking we could go for missiles and railguns. Never actually done this build before, so I mean, it's new to me. So there's going to be some kinks along the way, seeing what works and what doesn't work. But I do know that you should have some storage down here for your ammo. Like so. And I also know that you should have a crafter making some ammo. So let's go ahead and put that down. Drop in some doors. Put in some hallways. Now with that being said, we're going to go ahead and block off this area right here. And we'll put in our doors right here. So what we're going to do, put doors all the way up these weapons here. Like so. Now what we're going to do, each one of these sections take 0.5 power per shot. So a small reactor should be able to cover 4 sections of this accelerator. So if we put one reactor here, like so, come down a little bit. So we got 4 doors, 1, 2, 3, 4. We could put in a crew bunk, like so. And then we could put in, a wall here. Now this setup can be used all the way down the ship. So let's go ahead and copy this. Like so. Copy, paste. And we could use this all the way down. Now at the end here, we could go ahead again, put that wall down. We'll delete these 2. Reason being is because we're essentially going to trap our crew inside this area, so this is the only thing that they work on, and they never get to leave. You know, even though we're in space, work still demands. So as you can see, our front here is heavily fortified with shields. If they make it through their shields, then we're probably going to be in trouble, but hoping that does not happen. We got 2 nice big rail cannons to punch through any armor. So we're going to have to go ahead and see what else we can do. I'm not sure if we're going to go ahead and add some deck cannons, but I definitely want to add some missiles. So let's see what happens. Alright, so now that we built the outskirts here, let's throw in some power before we get too carried away. If we go ahead and hit Alt on the shield, as you can see, power use is 0.1 per second. So you got to keep this in mind as you start building more and more stuff. So basically you want to add all this up. So you got 0.1, 0.2, 0.3, 0.4, 0.5, 0.6 for just those, and another 0.6 for just these. 0.6 and 0.6 is going to be 1.2 per second. So if you look at the power generation, we're going to need at least a medium reactor if that's all we power. If all we power are these shields, we'll need at least a medium reactor for me to feel comfortable. A small reactor could do it, 1.5, but if you look, the battery size is also 1.0, whereas these are 2.0 and large reactor is 3.0. So if you want to be safe, I highly recommend using at least a large reactor. It's definitely the best for power generation, and they move. It's like a 3 times the size battery per trip, so it's easier on your crew to manage the power as well. Before I get too carried away and lost in my own schematic here, I do highly recommend, if you're going to use rail cannons, to give yourself some space. So let's go ahead and cut this, and we're going to leave it like this. So the reason we're doing this is because when a rail gun decides to explode, it causes a chain reaction all the way down. So if we have run into a situation where we put a cockpit, say for example, right next to the rail cannon, they end up blowing up one of the rail cannons, it'll cause a chain reaction straight down the middle of the ship and probably destroy the entire ship. Granted, we have a boatload of defense up here, and it might serve its purpose, but just as a precaution, always put like at least one layer of armor in between your railgun and the rest of your ship here. I'm going to go ahead and put 2. I'm going to go all the way down to right there. We'll readjust our cockpit. We're going to take out right there. And down here, we're still going to have the storage right next to it, like so. And then our production is going to be right on top. And there you go. So in order to craft ammo, you need sulfur, very easy to get, and iron, again, very easy to get. However, with that being said, you're going to need some storage for both of that. So we'll have that one for sulfur, we'll have that one for iron, and we'll craft some ammo that way. And since we put in some deck cannons up here, essentially we're going to need to do the same thing down here. So the problem with deck cannons is that if you read them, it says they have huge double barrel cannon that is mounted at the top of the ship instead of the side for extra stability. Each barrel fuses together 10 rounds of projectile ammunition, so loud it briefly stuns nearby crew. Now, it doesn't exactly say how big the stun radius is. Oh, there it is. Crew stun radius, 6 meters. And it's only for 0.5 seconds, which is still a decent amount of time. But with that being said, the issue we have with this is that, say if we have our power crew up here, and these guys are down here, they're going to stun the power crew, and we do not want that. So we're going to keep those separated for sure. What we could do, or what I'm thinking is, we can actually have these storage bays right here. And it'll only stun the people that are making the ammo, which could be potentially bad, but if we're making enough ammo, it shouldn't be a large issue. So we'll have to find out and see if it causes an issue. If it does, we'll go ahead and change it, but for now, I think that's a good idea. So we'll store the sulfur and the iron in these two, again in the same area there. We're going to go ahead and add ammo production, and our goal is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So our storage is going to have to be down in this location right here, or our crafter. One thing I do not want to stun is the person that's crafting the ammo. We'll put 2 there just in case. And then if we really want to, we can add extra storage down here. So what we could have it do what we could have it do is have the iron and sulfur stored down here. Now, from what I can tell, it does not say that the deck cannons need power, so I'm not sure if that's true. But if we look here at the statistics, you can see it says it requires ammo, crew required, man points required. Do not see any power requirement. Meaning that maybe we could just have this as a ammo facility. It does need the ammo or power for the ammo, but it only needs 0.04 per second, so we could probably get away with a small reactor right here. Seems to be a pretty good idea, so let's go ahead and put that in there, see if we can get away with just a small reactor here. These two storages are going to be used for ammo and delivered directly to the deck cannon. This will be backup sulfur and iron. This will be the iron and sulfur that the crew uses to craft. Reason I'm doing it this way is because if they start crafting or using all this stuff and they start making it here and putting it in here, the only time that they'll be stunned is if they're delivering ammo. Or at least that's my plan. So let's see if it works out. Let's go ahead and add all the doors in. We have to add some bedrooms. Now each deck cannon takes 4 crew. So we could go ahead and put in one just like this. And we'll have these 2 for the cannon crew, and we'll have 1 for ammo delivery and 1 for crafting. Best thing to do when you're building a big ship is to break it down into parts. So we'll have our defense here, our guns right behind it. Deck cannons are pretty nice. They have a pretty good range. Won't have nearly as much range as the rail cannon, but they're pretty good as well. So if you can sneak up with a rail cannon and get a good shot off, you can essentially one-shot almost any ship. Assuming you take out their cockpit or reactor in the first shot. I've seen ships where there's 6 cannons, and they almost go through anything, shields and all, so maybe we'll upgrade to that at some point, but for now, I kind of like this design. We'll see how it goes in the most part, but I'm going to go ahead and think it comes and stops over here, like right around this area. Put in some missiles on this side. I'm thinking EMP, because if they have shields, the deck cannons can just blow right through then, if the shields are taken down. Same thing with the, the rail cannon here. So we're going to need some crew up here. So it doesn't really have a crew command, or demand, should I say. But I'm going to try to have at least 1 person per shield. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So let's go ahead and add 2 bunks. Actually, we're going to add 3 because I think I'm going to add a tractor beam. So let's go ahead and add those. Let's move this over to here. Go ahead and put the doors back in. 5 meters for power, 3 meters for power. All right, so let's see if we can add in these tractor beams. Let's go ahead and dig those in right there just a little bit. We take a look at the tractor beam. Required crew is 4, so we have the crew. Could go ahead and just put them there. We go. Now we got power, we got crew, got some tractor beams. I would like some mining lasers, but I think we're going to go ahead and put them in a separate location. Let's go put in like right here. So go to mining lasers. We can have 2, 4, just like so. Now, mining lasers, unfortunately, are very demanding of power. So what we're going to need to do is actually put a large reactor right here. We're going to need some crew. Three should be more than enough. Go ahead and finish off armor here. So let's go ahead and put in a door right there. Put in a door here just in case. Put in the bedroom doors. And we're looking pretty good. So let's copy this selection right here. Go ahead, copy. All right, so looking good so far. We got power, we got tractor beams, we got a bunch of defense. I purposely placed this shield right here so that it overlaps right here. Also stops right where the armor is. I think that's a very nice little add-on there. Put on some engines. I want to... I didn't want it to stick out any further. So I'm just going to leave those the way it is. But we're going to want a lot of reverse thrusting. The reason being is because I'm going to use the rail cannons as our main attack. If they get close, we have the deck cannons for sure, but I don't want to rely on them for their main attack. We're also going to have missiles, so hopefully the missiles should be able to attack as often as the rail cannon, if not almost as much. But basically, I want them to appear like right where these rockets come out. So, thing is about the missiles, they also need their own kind of designated storage. So we could do it this way. Have them right next to each other like so. And just do that all the way down. However, I don't recommend putting them right next to each other. Reason being is they're going to need to have crew walking in between. Say, for example, if we have 5 of these, right? They are going to be walking 50% speed in between each storage room. So if anything, put 1 space in between. This way, say for example, we go ahead and put a hall through the area here. They will walk through the hallway instead of the storage room. Or at least hopefully that's the plan. I mean, maybe they'll just do whatever they want because they're AI, but that is what I'm hoping. Let's add in some armor. Like so. We can put 2 pieces of armor. Delete these. And we'll put some armor here. Don't need it for anything else. We need doors. Put in these storages. And these are all going to be EMP missiles, or at least that's my hope. So let's go ahead and add these doorways. Hallways, I say. And what we could do, after we put in these doors, is put down the crafters right behind. So we're going for the EMP missiles here. Very large area, consumes iron and copper. Production weight is 0.22 missiles per second. How many do these fire? Does not really say how many are fired per minute. So I'm assuming that just means that is what the downtime is going to be. So yeah, let's go ahead and rotate this. We're just going to have 4 of these. So what we're going to do is we're just going to go ahead and plop them down right here. Delete that. Put in a giant storage. Put in another storage. These will store the missiles, and then the missiles will be transported over there. We're going to go ahead and armor off right here. Delete this, and we'll put the iron and copper down here. So we're going to need iron and copper. Do it like this. We get a hallway right in the center here. Put in doors. We're going to need to put in the hallway first. Put in our doors. Alright, so hopefully that's all we need for this section. We got 5 missiles on each side. Enough crafting, hopefully, for anything that we need there. Alright, so now that we got this hallway here, what I'm thinking is we can go ahead and use some engine rooms. So if we go ahead and split them up like this. And I'm going to save this area here because if for somehow they do decide to blow this up, I don't want a weak point where it splits the ship in half. We're actually going to beef this side up right here against the rail cannon. But this is my plan so far. Could put an engine like this. And we'll have one like this. And then we could just keep going like this all the way down. So it looks like, if I'm not mistaken, the buff for the engine rooms does not stack. So if that's the case, we could skip engine rooms. So this is where the original would have been. Boom, we got that one. Delete, so we can do every other. Would have been there. And there we go. So with that being said, we just go ahead and move all these engines. Like so. And we're actually going to go ahead and do the same thing. Going to go ahead and finish this side by putting in all the doors. In this location right here, we're going to go ahead and put a large reactor. Over here, we're going to put a capacitor. And just in case, we're going to go ahead and throw one there. We're going to go ahead and throw in a sensor array. We'd only need one of these. So let's go ahead and throw this in here. We only need 4 crew for that, so let's go ahead and drop in those crew. We'll seal this off. And now that we have the engines completed, I want to go ahead and copy this entire setup here, like so. Now when we paste it, we're going to go ahead and mirror. So you see how they're facing towards each other? And essentially all we have to do is make sure that they don't bump into each other. Now, once we have that set up, we have all these engines for both forward and reverse thrust. All we have to do is connect it to the ship. And I'm going to go ahead and delete that because I forgot to turn mirror mode back on. So let's go ahead and actually, we can just copy it actually. Let's copy that. We could do it this way now. And there we go. We could even throw in some missiles probably here, have them shoot out through the center there. I think that'd be pretty cool, but I think I'm going to save that for another day. For now, we just want the mobility. We have some missiles up here. Hopefully every compartment is. So yeah, what I'm thinking is we can go ahead and put our cockpit right in this corner. We need, I believe it's 7 crew. It's a really weird number. But we can go ahead and throw in one of these and one of these. That'll handle the cockpit there. You can throw in, let's go ahead and see how much energy these thrusters take. Power use 0.4 per second. So 0.4 times 1, 2, 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So 12 times 4. 48, so 4.8. About 5.2 altogether. We should have more than enough with the large reactor core here. And especially with the power capacitors. We got crew, we got the power. Power use, this one is 4.4 per minute. So, I mean, that's really low. So, let's just get our doors in here. These 2 rooms are for the crew, or the cabin. We should have a decent amount of people to supply power to the engines. Might not need that many, but it doesn't hurt to have extra. That is their sole purpose. Make sure that you're putting in your air hatches and your fire extinguishers along the way. I'm thinking we can use this long corridor right here as manufacturing and storage. So I think we're going to put storage all the way down to the base here, and then we'll put a production facility at the bottom. So we could just have a nice long, kind of like hallway. It does mean our resources are kind of in trouble if we do end up getting our rail cannon destroyed, but I don't think it'll be a huge issue. All right, so I think I added everything that we need. One thing I do need to add quick before I make that assumption is more hatches, and I think we're ready to go. So unfortunately, we don't have the resources needed to build this. We're going to need 26,000 iron or steel, and we're going to need 1,600 titanium. But what we can do for now is we're going to go ahead and save ship design, and we're going to name it Omega. Save the ship, and what we're going to have to do is go farm some iron or steel and farm some titanium. So it's going to be fun, but let's go ahead and farm all that, and once I get all the resources, we'll make it so, and then we'll go ahead and test out our new ship. All right, so off screen, I decided to build a large storage. It was originally square. I went and picked up one of the blueprints, Imperium, I believe it was. Let me go ahead and check real quick. Go here to ship editor, load ship, and I selected this guy. Um, so when I selected this guy, it was a lot less storage than the original design I had, but this one can move and actually has power and stuff, so good on that. So the original one I just designed was just literally like a giant square with a bunch of storage, and the reason I had to do that was because our ship could not store enough materials. See, we can only store 15,000 tri-steel or steel, but in order to build our big boy here, we needed a bunch more. So we are missing some coils, which is unfortunate. Um, Maybe if we move a little bit closer here. And nope, we're still somehow missing coils. We have a boatload inside the other ship here, but for some reason, won't let us use them. So let's go ahead and see if we can take these. All right, so with that being said, we can make it so for our giant ship here. So let's go ahead and move out a little bit. Unfortunately, there's these stupid small stationary stations here that are probably going to get in the way. But we have all of our money now. Let's go ahead and make it so. So as you can see, we have a nice new giant ship. We could probably pick up all of this. So let's go ahead and pick up all that stuff. Wait for everybody to get in there and power up. For some reason, all of the beds are blue beds. Design flaws 101. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and change around the crew. Obviously, we don't need everyone being a navigator. So we're going to go ahead and change that around. We need some people to supply some batteries. And I'll be back in a second. All right, so one thing we have to do before we can set this ship a sail is we're going to put in some hatches. And we're going to take off mirror mode. And basically, we just need to put in some hatches all the way down like so. And the reason we're doing this is so we can lock some people away in this little hallway. Don't forget to add your doors. All right, so let's go back to crew management. We have to find some of our extra people. There's not many of them. And essentially, we just got to keep making sure that they go to these rooms. And then once they get in the room, we take away the hatch. Reason being is we do not want them to leave the room for whatever reason. Leave this little area. We want to make sure that they are strictly powering the railgun. Now we can always put the defenses back. And we're going to do that all the way down the rail cannon. All right, so after a lot of tweaking, I think we are ready to use our ship. So let's move over here real quick. We do have some things powered down, and I think we have to go ahead and grab some resources simply to make sure that we have all the ammo that we need, just in case we get into a heavier firefight than expected. I feel like the rail cannons will do a lot of the work, especially if we can hit them from far enough. But first things first, let's go ahead and grab the rest of our crew. There we go. So let's go ahead and farm some iron and copper and sulfur. I'm going to go ahead and do that off screen real quick, and then we will start putting in our work. All right, so I think we finally have everything that we need. If we go ahead and look, we have all the ammo we need for our rail cannons. We have full ammo for our deck cannons, and we even have ammo for some of our missiles over here. So we're still pretty shy on crew. I did put some people in the missiles just to put some people in there. So far, we haven't had issues keeping up any shields, which is one of my main concerns. At some point, I may end up taking away this shield because it seems like it's getting cut off right there. Same with this one. We'll see. Maybe I'll move it out. Not decided yet. But so far so good. So I think we can go and see how we do against the pirate base. So let's go ahead to the first one over here. Actually, let's go to this one first. Maybe this one will be lower level. They're all level 12. Unfortunately, we won't get any fame from any of these. But we should be doing pretty good. So let's go ahead and see what happens. All right, so here we are approaching a pirate base. Let's go ahead and see what we can do. Good thing about these rail cannons is they have a very good range. So if we can get close enough, we can just start taking pot shots and draw them to us. So definitely very nice. So before we get too far into it, let's go ahead and select both of these. We're going to have fire at target. Same thing with our deck cannons here. Let's go ahead and fire at target. And we're also going to change it to alternating fire. Just a preference I have. I feel like it does a little bit better. So let's see what happens here. So the thing with the rail cannons is you kind of have to like strafe back and forth because it's in a straight line. So you have to kind of rotate to a point to where you're in that target. Let's see if we can spot them shooting. Let's go ahead and slow it down a little bit. Our shields are surviving so far. There we go. That almost made it all the way through to the reactor here. Pretty interesting. Pretty interesting. Pretty strong. We're going to have to go ahead and do it again. So let's set it back up. See if we can get another shot off. There we go. One down. Take out the other side. Oof. He turned at the wrong time. So yeah, that rail cannon went right through the ship. Definitely nice to see. We didn't get too much damage done, but I could see that we're running out of power in certain spots. And that's not good, especially when we're in a fight. So one of those things where it kind of is based on our crew. We don't have the crew to do it, so we'll just have to make sure that we can try to keep up with everything and, you know, see how it goes. So, all right, let's go ahead and mark this guy. We took him out pretty easily. By pretty easily, I mean he didn't do a whole lot of damage to us. He did end up getting through our shields because of our power issues. But we'll have to work on that as we unlock more crew, as we get further up the rank in fame. So let's go ahead and see if we can take out this other guy, and then we'll start taking pot shots at the base. And let's see if we can get a good shot off. Oh, I should have slowed it down, but wow, we just one-shotted that guy. We'll definitely slow it down for the next few. Oh my lord. It went right through his shields, right through his weapons, and destroyed the reactor. That is amazing. Wow. I didn't think they were. I knew they were strong, but I didn't think they were that strong. Like, he's got a bunch of shields, and it just didn't even matter. Did not matter one bit. This guy was just like, you know what? I'm gonna eat that for breakfast. The nice thing is, though, is we got these EMP missiles, and I definitely think it's helping us push through the shields. So let's go ahead and strafe again. There we go. And we took out the base. So I'm going to go ahead and loot all this up, but it's actually really easy with the rail cannons here. And we're going to move on. All right, let's slow it down. We have a Rasselhag coming through. Let's go ahead and see if we can take out that reactor. Put us to the test here. Took out one. Took care of him. Definitely going to be an expensive fight, but we took care of 3 level 11 ships. All we have left is this guy, and he shouldn't give us any trouble whatsoever. Oh, actually, we took him down. Must have took care of his cockpit. Let's go ahead and fan to the right. 1, 2. Give it a couple seconds. Fan back to the left. Boom, boom, there we go. That's the second one. And that is the second base down. So let's go ahead and loot all this stuff up, and I'll see you at the next base. All right, so here we are pulling up onto the third pirate base and final pirate base. Let's see what we could do. So we have an level 10 right here. Looks like he saw us already. Let's see if we can get right into his reactor. Looks like he's running from us. I'm not going to go ahead and chase. And one ship is down. So it seems like these guys are staying just out of reach. He is down. And he is down. Took down... Oh, we took down both. Or we took down both cockpits. Good enough for me. He is down, so good enough for me. All we have left is this small EMP, and we officially took over this entire galaxy. All right, here we are, turning in the last quest here. So with that being said, that is this galaxy completed. So let me know in the comments if you enjoy watching me actually create new builds. If not, I mean, we can always work on that too. But I feel like it's essential to kind of show off both. So let me know in the comments what you think, if you enjoy seeing me do builds as well as attack and take on other ships. But with that being said, if you learned something, please leave a like. And if you want to see more content of Cosmoteer or just stuff that I make in general, please subscribe to my channel. But with that being said, thank you for your time. Thank you for watching, and I really hope to see you in the next video. Take care.